Welcome to Brexit Britain.
Or welcome to coronavirus Britain.
Same thing. We warned you. We warned the country this would happen. We said leaving the EU will be terrible for our economy, and I didn't expect to be proven right so quickly.
Yeah, but if we'd have just left the EU sooner, then we wouldn't have had all these people travelling that would have brought it to our country.
No, this was caused by Brexit.
Ah. Welcome back to Would John Rather. I hope you've got your quarantinis poured and are ready for a quarantine episode.
Is this the first one we've recorded since we've been in lockdown?
It is, because the two episodes before, we were talking about how we'd rather have coronavirus than losing our prized possessions and how it was ridiculous. And now it's ridiculous for a whole different reason. How long have you two been stuck in your houses for?
This is day 5.
It's like 2 weeks now since I've been sent home from work. So yeah, 2 weeks.
I'm on day 9. I've left the house 5 times. 3 of those were to take the bins out.
It's such a treat taking the bins out these days.
Yeah.
You should get a dog. You have to go out.
Well, I did say that, but we have cats. I think
They're not the same.
No, and I think they're quite upset that we're here. Every time I walk past them, I just get that glare of, can we... Because we put cartoons on YouTube for them when we were out of the house, and I think they miss watching the cartoons.
So where is the dog?
Excuse me, staff. This is our time of the house. What are you still doing around the place? Could you make yourself scarce?
Yeah, I just imagine the dogs are really happy. The dogs would be really happy that their owners are around all the time, and cats are just miffed.
Ugh,
Yeah,
could have shared my house with you for a bit longer.
We'll try and make it as high energy as possible, but obviously we're as going as stir crazy as you lot are. And also, we've had so many Skype and phone conversations with people this week. I miss touching people.
You had it here first. Oh, I miss it as well.
My friend
came
came over.
Some sort of moral high ground. I can't really do that.
My friend came over just to grab. I've got an old Game Boy that his missus wanted to borrow, and this was before we were in lockdown. So he came around to grab it, and my instinct was to go over and give him a cuddle, because that's just what I do when I greet people. And was like, oh no, probably shouldn't.
So I think I'm on questions.
As though your week couldn't get any worse, folks.
Good luck to all of you.
He just said he's been quarantined for 2 weeks, so he's had 2 weeks to think of the questions. John, when did you come up with the questions?
5 minutes before we started recording.
Yay!
Well, actually, 2 of them 5 minutes before I started. One of them I actually came up with for our 100th episode when I thought I'd be asking questions, but then we changed the format, and so I wasn't. So I've adapted it. See if you can notice how I've seamlessly adapted it.
Okay.
Okay, so would you rather fight 101 Dalmatians or 101,000 feather dusters?
Is this topical to what I've been up to today?
I don't know, is it?
I watched 101 Dalmatians today, and I shared it on the Facebook, because all the barking woke Astrid up and she got really confused.
Oh.
Amazing.
Well, I'd rather fight 101 Dalmatians. Yeah.
Oh.
I'd rather fight 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, seeing as, John, you've just watched the film, you probably have more empathy and probably wouldn't want to fight them, as you can probably name some of them.
Freckles, Lucky, Domino. Yeah, but no, 98 of them are puppies, and I'm sure with a good golf club you could.
98 of them are puppies.
98.
And 2 of them are adults. So who's the last one?
Pongo.
No, 99.
Okay. I was like, have we just found a flaw in the fact that there wasn't actually 101 Dalmatians?
No, there was 101. Sorry, I was thinking, Lucky died, but then he came back. But that was at the very beginning when they had 14, and then it was 15, then it was 14, and then it was 15.
Yes. And wasn't there one that didn't have any spots?
Not in the film that I saw.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather fight 1,001 feather dusters because they are inanimate objects and I can take my time.
Did he just increase the amount of his enemies by 900?
No, he reduced it significantly. I said 101,000.
Oh, I just had
Okay.
101.
101,000. That's a lot of feather dusters. If I like fighting them, could I exile them by means of putting them on eBay and sending them away? Because they wouldn't be in my proximity. They wouldn't be my problem anymore because I would have banished them.
Potentially.
I think the only. Sorry, go on.
In my head, they were sort of moving and they're not just being inanimate.
Oh, like Fantasia.
Yeah, like Fantasia. But if you could make the logistics work and sell some of them on eBay, then yeah, fine. That is a way of dealing with some of them, but it's a lot of feather dusters to sell and a lot of postage and packaging. So I don't think that's going to cut the mustard entirely.
Well, I think
if you're giving me 101,000 feather dusters, I'm sure I could sell them for enough money each to package them and then ship them. I could buy the packaging in bulk as well and save money. So I could actually make some profit.
Yeah, but you have to fight
I'm going
them.
to undercut China.
You have to fight them.
Yeah, they are going to be tickling attack you.
Oh no, what will I do?
Oh no, what will you do?
ticklish?
Yeah, that makes sense when you go, oh no, a feather duster is getting at me. But this is 101,000 feather dusters. Like, think how much that weighs. A ton of feathers is still a ton of feathers. And also think
But
how many
they're not
birds have to
coordinated,
die
are they?
for this.
You don't have to kill birds to have feathers.
But it's better if you do.
Yes. Yeah, but
Okay,
zombies
so
aren't
I've
coordinated.
snapped thousands and thousands and thousands of feather dusters over my knee and gone, well, that was easy. And you've started hacking away at the Dalmatians. You're going to be covered in blood. It's going to be awful. You're going to have nightmares. I'm just going to go, ugh, I'd rather get the, synthetic duster out this time.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with them all once you've broken them?
I can set them on fire. Nice big feathery bonfire.
See,
That'd be fine.
I'm going to make it. I'm going to make a coat. Like,
ages ago, when you first started smoking, we all laughed and went, "Oh, I could see you like Cruella de Vil with one of those cigarette extension things, like twiddling around."
yeah. I love that was your main reason, not that I kill an I'm trying to kill a load of dogs.
Well, the second thing that's come to light now after we've known you've been smoking for the last decade.
Yeah, I was going to point out before.
You've had Cruella de Vil tendencies beforehand.
Well, I'm only killing the dogs because they're attacking me. And if you saw me out in my nice new fur coat and they went, "Where did you get that?" and I said self-defense, you'd go, "Oh, that's fair enough, I guess."
No, that would raise more questions for me.
Well, I would answer them. What are you getting at? Where did you get that coat? Self-defense. From what? Dogs. What were they doing?
Was a
Attacking
pimp
me.
trying to mug you and you took him out?
No. It was
Only pimps wear furs. Everyone knows that.
Cruella de Vil wasn't a pimp.
Well, no, she was also a fictional character made up in 1961.
Or was she?
Yes.
Maybe she was a pimp.
Yeah, it could have been. She drove a pretty nice car.
Yeah. And she did have those two guys that worked for her.
Yep.
And she didn't seem to have any sort of actual business that I remember.
No, she didn't. It was never referred to.
So she was a pimp.
Yeah, pimp.
Is a female pimp just still called a pimp? No, it's a madam, isn't it? I would prefer it if female pimps were called pimpettes.
Aren't they what you use to measure out small samples of liquid?
Yep. And, well, she's providing small samples of liquids to her clients.
Mm.
Yeah, see?
Okay, feather dusters sound hard work, but I don't reckon I'd have nightmares at the end of it. That's my tagline. That's what I'm going with.
And I wouldn't have nightmares. I'd have a very nice coat. And also, the police are too busy stopping people from leaving their homes to worry about me killing a few puppies.
I'll call Battersea and they'll take you out.
I mean, it's exactly like Trump said. In the grand scheme of things, what's a few deaths amongst friends?
When was the last time you saw like a genuinely small puppy?
Quite recently, actually. Somebody at
Because they've
Manuja
got
brought
like
one
really
in.
sharp needle teeth, haven't they?
They have,
and that's going to hurt.
But also, these puppies aren't going to be very well organised.
But there's 99 puppies and 2 adult dogs. I don't even reckon you could take on 1 adult Dalmatian.
Oh, I could definitely take on one adult Dalmatian. And the thing is, I wouldn't make the same mistake that Cruella de Vil did. I'd get them before they'd open their eyes.
But then they don't have their spots.
Spray paint.
You're going to ruin your lovely, lovely pimp coat with spray paint.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want a spotty pimp coat.
Just want a white pimp coat.
Yeah.
But then you should go like polar bear. Polar bear rather than 90.
But the polar bears aren't attacking me. I'm just making them best out of a bad situation.
And I thought starting up a feather duster export business was good enough, but that seems to get pursued.
Yeah, because they're attacking you, and you've chosen the only way to destroy them would be to snap them in half. Even if you managed to capture a few in boxes and send them off, as soon as they open the box, they'd fly back out and come at you, bro.
That'd be an interesting. Yes, I could ship them all over the world, and that'd be interesting. Like, oh, where did you come from? So if it's got like a sombrero on it, or
and then sell them again.
Then
to all
sell
the
them
people.
again. It's like never-ending returns.
It's like that.
Feather duster's gone missing.
It's like that joke. You can never lose a homing pigeon. Because if you lose it, it'll find its way home. And if it doesn't find its way home, well, you've just lost a pigeon.
Not home. Yeah.
Or a dove.
Or a dove. Yeah.
Because they're the same. Have
They?
we had this conversation?
I'm sure we have.
I haven't.
They're all from the same, family, is my understanding.
There's
What,
nothing-
birds?
There's nothing biologically different between a pigeon and a dove. They're the same. There's different, species of, or not species, breeds of them.
Well, yeah, because a wood pigeon's very different to the pigeons you find in town.
Feral pigeons.
I think they're
I
just
suppose it's like dog breed,
fatter.
isn't it? The Great Dane
Yeah.
is genetically almost identical to a pug.
Yeah.
I
But
like where we always go to a pug because they're the most retarded, screwed up animals we can think of.
But even when you go to zoos and things, there's always the lesser swallowed spotted pigeon, and it's all pretty colours, and you're just that's just a small pretty pigeon.
yeah, but that's
What's wrong with a small pretty pigeon?
there are humans that are pretty and humans that aren't pretty, but they're all
Second one right here.
they're all still human, as far as we're aware.
Yeah, but we don't have different names for the different types of humans, not unless you're into segregation. So it's not quite the same.
Johnny, tread lightness. Otherwise, we lose the question. We don't want racism on the show.
We give people we give people different races, and that's not racist to say that people have different races.
No, you're very true.
It's racist to say that one race is better than the others. So it's racist to say that a
And
pug
John,
is better than a Dalmatian.
If you had to pick,
Yeah.
which is your favourite race?
No.
Mine is the egg and spoon.
I was going to say the 24 hours of lemons. It's not the 24 hours of Le Mans, it's 24 hours of lemons where you buy a really crap car for under 500 quid and you race it for 24 hours.
That's amazing.
Oh, mate, Google it after the show. It's really good. Teams have themes, so there's a Back to the Future one where they pimp up an MX-5 and make it look like a DeLorean. And there's the Trippy Hippie van, where someone has got a Mark II bay window van, turned it upside down, and put it on another car's chassis. So it looks like the VW van is sliding around the track on its roof.
So, got a plan. Here's my plan. I'm going to enter the 24-hour lemons, and I'm going to have the car from Dumb and Dumber, but I'm going to use the dead Dalmatian puppy skins to make it.
Okay. Shall we call it a day there?
You're the judge.
I think we should call it a day there. You can't see my face, but
I might need more than 101 to make a car, but
Okay. I'm gonna call it for. Still making up my mind. 101,000 feather dusters is what I'd rather fight because I like the unlimited returns and then reselling them. Also, I'm kind of scared of dogs, so fighting them is not what I want to do at all.
It's not the idea that you don't want anybody to kill some dogs. It's the idea of you might not be able to kill the dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think you missed out on a trick here, John, because what you could have done was broken the world record for making the world's longest feather boa.
Oh, I could have done with the carcasses of my enemies, which apparently is that's something that you're into now.
Yeah.
So, we
of course we have a suggestion of the week. Don't go outside.
I've got another suggestion of the week. People that listen to the show, if you would find it in your kindness of heart, in this peak time, to sign up to our Patreon, because it is going to be the only form of income that Mac's going to have.
Yes, as I may have mentioned one or twice that my brother always likes to point out, I work in the hospitality industry. Yay! Or just make me a sandwich. Just leave it outside. Just anywhere outside, because if it goes on for long enough, I'll be homeless as well.
Well, I can't even offer you a head because I should be moving house and all that's on hold. So I can't even offer you a spare bedroom because I don't have one.
You can stay in my spare bedroom.
In London, that's where the quarantine's going to be worst.
Well, there's no
They're not going to even let them in,
coronavirus.
is it?
There's no coronavirus inside my flat, as far as I'm aware.
As far as you're aware.
Yeah, it's unseen.
Well, I'm glad that, London is so abhorrent to you that you're willing to turn it down as a homeless person. So things can't be that bad. So suggestion of the week: stay home, save lives.
Unless you need the essentials. I'm talking gas and electric, food, baby formula, tobacco, alcohol.
Tobacco, come on. This would be a perfect opportunity to give up smoking.
Well, no.
In the most stressful period of your life.
No. Because now every time I cough and people look at me, I just quickly pull out my cigarettes and they go, "Oh, it's fine. It's a smoker's cough." What's your excuse?
Good point. So I've got a second question, and the flow of conversation has worked out quite nicely so far. So, would you rather be locked down in a country with a dangerous healthcare system, but in a luxury villa, or in a squalor one-bed basement flat with an excellent and well-funded healthcare system?
Wait, so we saying go to like Florida or hang out with you?
Worse than Florida.
Worse than Florida.
Well, I guess if you didn't have help,
what could possibly be worse than Florida?
I don't think there is anywhere worse than Florida.
Like being in Florida, I guess if you had no health insurance.
Yeah, I was going to say you just don't have health insurance or be poor in Florida.
Well, judging by this question, so you're saying, would I rather be rich in a country that has no healthcare system or poor in a country that has a healthcare system? And as we all know, if you're rich in a country that doesn't have a healthcare system, it doesn't matter because you're rich, which means you'll be first on the list.
Money solves everything, apparently.
Not in this country.
Which country is this?
Yeah.
So, actually, you're both in Florida. So one of you...
Oh, no.
For fuck's sake, I hope the virus gets me.
So one of you spent all your money on healthcare insurance. So you've got amazing healthcare insurance.
But I'm still in Florida.
But you had no money left, so you live in a dingy basement flat. A bit. But if you get ill, you're going to be in safe hands. And the other one of you spent all your money on a house, on a nice villa, and then lost your job, but you didn't have a mortgage, so you were fine, but you don't have any insurance or anything to fall back on. There you go. I've just clarified the boundaries for you.
I'm still going to stand by having the nice house.
You know what I choose to do? It doesn't matter which situation I was in, I would get a civil partnership with Matt, and then we could share the health insurance.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Could we not just do that?
Do you want a fraudulent wedding, Matt?
Yeah.
High five. Question number 3, please, John.
Okay. So,
Well, that's the
Yes.
obvious answer, because I was going to say it, but shall we argue it just for posterity or whatever it's called?
Just for old time's sake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's quite simple for me, is as much as it's a very serious virus, I'm still more worried about what the effects of all of this is going to have on people's mental health and the economy. And as much as there are deaths from coronavirus, there's research that has gone into how many of these people that have died would have died anyway from something else, be it the regular flu or whatever. I mean, car accident deaths have got to be down. There's less people
way down.
driving. Work-related accidents, domestic violence is going to go up. So
yeah, it's going to soar. All I do is
Well,
go
it's
home
very
and drink
powerful.
loads of beer.
Exactly. Whereas at least if you're in a nice house, you've got other things to do rather than hitting your wife. I can't believe that's a sentence I just said.
You can go for a
But
swim in the pool.
You'll be and you're not going to get down. Like if you were, imagine how much worse it could be if you were locked in a room.
Yeah, so you've got the reassurance that you'll be fine with your health in the end. But yeah, mental health, it's important.
It's very important.
Okay,
If
Matt
I had health
wins.
insurance. No, whoa! That's finished. Cheers, thanks for that.
Okay, well, you can finish your thought.
Well, there's no point, is there? Because you already declared a winner.
Okay.
You're as bad as him now.
I did make a statement a few weeks ago, and I think the statistics will still back me up, but you're still more likely to kill yourself than be killed by this virus.
Yeah.
So at least we're making a positive, happy podcast for people to listen to so they can stay upbeat in this time.
Yeah. Stay
I
home,
was gonna-
save lives.
I was going to plug the fact that people should be listening to our podcast more because our ramblings are like that table behind you at a pub that have not got their shit together and they argue benign, random stuff for the sake of it. We are that table of people. So if you miss that, do listen to more of our podcast. And if your friends miss going to the pub and listening to random people argue, tell them to listen to us too.
And also talking of mental health, literally, genuinely, because as I said, we've been talking quite a lot. All we've done for the past week collectively is just stare at the websites waiting for statistics to come in, and it makes us very sad when we don't get more listeners. So we need this. Me more than anyone, because I might not have a job.
Okay. Well, this all comes down to...
Do you
Question
think they'll
number
get
3
to
then.
a point where we stop taking the piss out of it all?
No, that would be...
No, that'd be un-British of us.
Yeah.
So, the final question is heads or tails?
Heads.
I guess tails.
Okay.
Because you have 2 of them in your house.
Well, actually, I was going to say he's my favourite character from Sonic.
Oh, good point.
He can fly. And he's got 2 tails.
Yeah, that he does. Yeah, it's fair enough. I like
He's-
having a head, so I've lived without a tail for all my life.
Yeah, but
It's not affected me.
I
I
bet
don't think I'd last very long if I had no head.
if you could have a tail, you would.
John would. I know that for a fact. But I also know that if he didn't have a head, he'd probably be in slightly desperate times. A tail is a nice luxury, but a head is a fundamental necessity of life.
That's what...
You heard it here first, folks. Head is a necessity of life. We made it about 60 seconds before anyone made that joke. But I couldn't hold it in anymore.
I think it was apt that you made it.
That's true.
I'd have been disappointed if you hadn't said that.
Based on your comments though, I'd much rather have a luxury than a necessity.
Okay. For argument's sake, you have a luxury of all the cold and flu pills, but you have no toilet roll.
That's fine.
You'd be doing a lot of poo showers.
Lots of poo showers. Just means I'd shower more. And I know I can't be the only one in the country who's been like, I can shower tomorrow, I'm not going anywhere.
No, because as much as I'm not going out, I've still got standards of hygiene.
I'm not saying
I've got-
everybody's doing that, but there's definitely people that are showering less because they're not leaving the house.
I've got a wife who called me out for stinking, so
Yeah, I still shower daily because I I just don't feel right if I haven't showered. I don't know why. I just feel uncomfortable in my own skin. It's like when I haven't brushed my teeth.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it?
You just, if you like, there are days where I've like skipped breakfast and then like you always brush your teeth after breakfast, so then it like goes a few hours longer than it should, and then I'm like gets to like 11 o'clock and I'm like I haven't brushed my teeth. This is I feel uncomfortable in my own skin.
Fundamentals. You brush your teeth, you get on with the day.
Yeah.
Luxury is having a donut at lunch. Yeah, that's nice, but if you haven't brushed your teeth, then what is the donut for? If not to remind you with sugary buildup and plaque.
Yeah, I couldn't enjoy the donut if I hadn't brushed my teeth in the morning.
And you know where your teeth are kept?
If you didn't have a head, you wouldn't need to brush your teeth. And by the sounds of it, this is one of the biggest causes of your anxiety. Whereas, let's say you had no head, but you still had teeth. So no head, but just teeth at the top of your neck hole. You've got a tail. You've got a toothbrush wherever you go.
No, I can't endorse that.
Why not?
Because there are a lot of other things that are stored on your head, your ears, your eyes, your nose, your brain.
No, but we just rearrange them to other places.
No, the question wasn't, do you want to play God? It was heads or tails.
Yeah, but your head is just what holds all those things. It doesn't say you can't have them anymore.
It's where they're located. It's their geographical home. If your ears had a postcode, it would be on your head.
I'm not sure what the definition of a head is. Is it the collection of all of those things, or is it just the place where those things happen to be stored?
It's the place where they're stored. Unless you're a grasshopper, and then you've got ears on your knees.
But they're
the exception to the rule.
If I punched you in the face, you wouldn't say, I've just been punched in the head.
I could say that I've been punched in the head.
But it's your face. So you still have your eyes and your nose and your mouth.
What, floating in ether?
No, just a face.
Just no. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about responsibility. In sixth form, we had Jeff. What was Jeff?
He was the head boy.
He was the head boy. He was a fucking head boy, wasn't he?
Okay.
What's the opposite of the head boy? Probably me. Probably the scally who turns up to sixth form. And
I would have said it was the head
there
girl.
and not getting kicked out. Well, the head girl's the best girl, apparently.
No, the opposite of a head boy is a head girl. What has this got to do with the fact that you could still have eyes and nose and mouth and a face and teeth?
I was going away from that because you're obviously not accepting the argument because you just want to have your faculties from your head just dangling.
What about her from Doctor Who? That's just the face that's been stretched out, and she needs spraying with water. She's still got a face. She hasn't got a head.
Hasn't got a tail either.
No. But the argument was that you were putting forward was you can't have a face without having a head. I'm saying you can.
Right, so this fictional sci-fi thing that you've conjured up.
And don't even get me started on the brain, because as everybody knows, as a male, you think with your dick. So I don't believe it's a conspiracy that your brain's kept in your head. So therefore, head, useless.
I have heard some, like, weird stories about people who have heart transplants. And then they find that they've got like a new skill after they've had the heart transplant.
Like living.
No, like they suddenly know some like classical music which they didn't know before. And
I read somewhere that someone had this real fondness for peppers. They hated them before, but they got a heart transplant and suddenly adored peppers.
Yeah, so like I think
and enjoyed spicy food. Yeah,
I think like researchers think that your heart has some like nerve
memory,
basically brain cells in your heart, because you've got loads of nerve endings and stuff there. So why not?
It could just be a short circuit when the nerve endings are all reattached. It could just be like a spark, and it just like malfunctions to change something.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I don't think anyone really knows, but it was just an interesting sort of thought experiment. Is that, yeah, obviously most of your like mental capacity is in your brain, but could it be possible that you actually have some brain cells, like in other parts of your body.
What about that chicken that had its head chopped off and lived for years afterwards?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah,
So like
they did a bad job at it, and they actually had a lot of its molybdenum left.
It did,
They
but do you know what it
through
didn't have anymore? A head.
Base. It had a lot of its the base of its spinal cord, and a lot of the sort of the base functions of the brain still going on.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if tails were so important, why don't we have them? Why haven't we got tails if they're so important, if they're so good?
Because we decided that heads were more important. When
There we
actually
go.
we've just, but we were
There we go.
wrong. We were
Said
wrong.
it.
Look at us as a society. We're fucking idiots.
Matt, what do you find under a tail? An arsehole. Just saying. Point that out. There's, wherever there's a tail, there's an arsehole.
And as much as we use that as a description for people we don't like, they do have an important bodily function.
Exactly. So, therefore, arseholes are more important than heads. And a tail is the protector of the arsehole.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
We don't need them because we wear clothes.
Well, this has been lovely, but I've already decided how I'm going to resolve this argument.
Well, just
You're going to go back. You're going to go back to your arguments from many, many times ago, where you defended and championed having a tail.
No, I'm just going to flip a coin.
I was going to say...
I thought you were going to, and then I thought, actually, we've got compelling arguments here. Maybe he's going to listen to it.
No,
Yeah, but
this was solely for our listeners' benefits, just so they had something interesting to listen to. It's all going to be decided on a coin toss.
Okay, tails I win, heads you lose.
No, heads I win, tails you lose.
No.
I'll just whichever one it lands on wins. It's as simple as that.
I did think the same as John, that it was going to go the same. I was about to bring up, it's like, but we had an argument about tongues or tails before, and I definitely lost when I was arguing for tongues. So,
so if I put the coin really close to my mic, can you hear this? All right, I'm going to flip the coin.
oh my god, it landed on its side!
What are the chances of that?
Tails.
Yay!
Ooh. First 2 out of 3.
No, you already made him flip it a second time.
the first time it had landed on heads.
Yes.
Well, actually, that's what counts then, isn't it?
No. You were the one who said. You were the one who said. You were the one who said.
We were doing it for the Foley work, which we decided we were going to outright get you to sort out anyway.
All right, I don't feel like we can end on this. It's got to be 2 out of 3. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Suspense is killing me.
Tails.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel better
Can't believe
now.
that.
It was left up to fate.
I cheated the system and still got screwed over.
I nearly said, yeah, do it again. And then I went, no, because if I say that, then it's going to deliberately be heads and the first one would have been tails. And then because you did it, I went, I bet it's the other way around. That's just fucking sod's law, isn't it?
Well, so congratulations, not John, on winning a coin toss.
I won a coin toss. It's nice to have things go my way for a change. I might be homeless with no income, but I won a coin toss. Can I?
And I've always said that that's the most important thing in life.
Can I have the coin?
Yeah. It's a Canadian $2 coin.
Oh.
It's got from 1996.
So what? It's got the street value of about £1.10.
I mean, that's more money than I've earned today.
It's got a picture of a polar bear on the back,
Ooh.
on the tails, and Queen Elizabeth on the heads, because she's the queen of everywhere.
She is the queen of
Queen
everywhere.
of the Commonwealth.
There is no better time than for us to invade the rest of Europe, Queenie.
Do you reckon if we invade Italy, there won't be much resistance? Well, it probably goes without coronavirus.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully by now there'll be a lot of resistance. So many of them have had it.
Yeah. Well, everybody, keep safe. Try and keep your chins up. It could be worse. At least because you're listening to this, you're still alive.
And if you do lose all hope, spread our podcast far and wide. if it's the last thing you do.
Yeah, please try and spread our podcast as though it's coronavirus. That would be really helpful. These two have been John, and I've not been.
I read a news story today that a medical fetish company donated some of its supplies to a hospital because they'd run out of scrubs. And the fetish website was the only company that had any.
Nothing, he's something.